Back to Steiny and Guru on 95.7 The Game.
Matt Steinmetz, Darryl the Guru Johnson with you, and let's introduce sports analyst for FS1. You can check him out on Speak. He's also a New York Times best-selling author, former NFL player with the Philadelphia Eagles, Emmanuel Acho. Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Fellas, let me just start off with a bang bang, but it's good to be here, family. It's good to be here.
All right, you're trying. You worried about me introducing you as a former Eagle this week in the Bay?
Here's the thing, I love, man. The Eagles put some money in my pocket. I can't say they put a lot of money in my pocket, but I still got a lot of love for the Eagles. I love me some Brandon Graham. That's my dog. Fletcher Cox, former teammate Lane Johnson. That's my guy. Fred Warner, though, that's my dog, and I love the way they play defense, bro. I love the way the Niners play football. I am in love with the Niners, the way they play football. That's why I'm so passionate about this game and that team.
What do you think's going to happen?
I think the Niners get the W. I think the biggest factor for me, though, is going to be Steve Wilks. You know what I mean? Like, this is a conversation nobody is having is, Wilks, what is he going to do with Travarius Ward? Is number 7 going to follow 11? That's A.J. Brown. If so, are you going to leave Lenore in the slot? I wouldn't do it. I'm putting Lenore on Devontae Smith. If Steve Wilks has a great game plan, the Niners will win the game. But with the Niners, they're very much so a bust or blowout team. If they beat you down. They don't like no prisoners. They beat you down. They take your soul, or they lose. They ain't no in betweens. They've only played one game. They've only won one game that's a one-score game. Obviously, y'all know that's the Rams game, 30-23. Other than that, they're taking souls. So to me, it's either bust or blowout.
Wow, Acho, I got to keep it real. Up into the Niners' 3-game losing streak, I was calling Brock Purdy Jamie Lee Curtis in the movie Perfect because that's what he was. No turnovers, and now the 3-game losing streak, he's back. And me and my partner got a saying on the show, it's called 2 scoreboards. If somehow Brock Purdy can get this win over a 10-1 team led by Hurts, I mean, don't you think that would go a long way for Brock Purdy to really be an MVP candidate if some think he's not now?
It's hard, bro. So I've been made an official MVP voter this year, and there's 2 scoreboards, but there's also 2 realities, family. And the 2 realities is we cannot forget how Brock Purdy and the Niners offense looked without Debo, and more importantly, for my money, without Trent Williams. Like, Brock Purdy would have to do a lot to enter into that MVP conversation because when Trent Williams was gone and the offense was anemic, again, Cleveland Browns, Trent gets hurt. Brock Purdy, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Then the following week, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, Vikings. Following week, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, Bengals. I can't forget how you looked without Trent. So how dare I say that you're the most valuable player when you weren't capable of elevating that team over a Vikings team, over a Browns team, over a Bengals team without Trent? Brock, to me, is a dog. Brock is a dog. I love me some Brock Purdy. I'm probably the highest national analyst on television on Brock Purdy, but I can't forget how you looked without 71. I can't do it.
Well, let me ask you this. If you look at you are a voter, and if what's your criteria? Like, I'll just tell you how I always think of an MVP. I go to the standings first, and I say, who's the best team? And it's the Eagles right now at 10-1. Okay, do they have an MVP-worthy candidate? Okay, you think it's Jalen Hurts, then he's the guy. If you think he might not fit, then you go down to who's 9-3 or 9-4. You know what I mean? Do you have any built-in personal approach for how you look at it?
I love this question. So, bro, it's so easy for people on TV to say, yeah, he's an MVP. He's not an MVP when you don't have a vote.
Right.
But, bro, the second I got a vote, there was so much more weight on me. I've watched so much more film now. And mind you, I would suggest, like, ain't nobody really watching a lot more film than me on national TV. I watch so much more film now because I'm like, there is pressure with that. My criteria, like yours, I start with who are the best teams. Then I don't just go to who's the most statistically impressive on that team. I go to who is the most valuable on that team. If y'all saw on Monday, I posted my MVP, my current MVP ballot as it stands unofficially, and I had Trent Williams at number 4. Because I felt like Trent Williams was the most valuable player to the Niners offense based upon how the Niners look with him, how the Niners look without him, how Brock Purdy looks with him, how Brock Purdy looks without him. So I then look at value of what is your importance to a team? How viable is that product without you? I was thinking about this morning, fellas. To me, oxygen is the most valuable thing that we possess. It's not actually food. We can go a while without some food. We can go a while without some water. We can't go that long without oxygen. So when you're thinking about value, how sustainable is your life without the thing? And when I'm thinking about the Niners, obviously we're talking about the Niners here, the offense wasn't sustainable without Trent, even if Brock was there. So that's my criteria is like, how sustainable is a product if I remove you from it?
That's good stuff, Acho. Let me ask you this, because the callers have been calling and we don't have the answers and we love to gamble. I understand. I think the Niners are the best team in the league, but yet you're telling me they're a 3-point favorite on the road against the team that knocked you off last January. You played the game. I think it's based on emotion, but you picking the Niners, that tells me, before I ask you the question, how much does that rile Philly players up, or does that mean anything when it's all said and done?
It means a lot. It means a lot. It's disrespectful as hell that the Niners are the favorites in the Lincoln Financial Field. And we already – now I'm speaking as a former Eagle. We already beat y'all down, and you won't make them the favorites. We knocked out not one but two quarterbacks, and you going to make them the favorites. We beat the brakes off them, and you going to make them the favorites. We had Fred Warner laying on the ground hurt on the third play of the game, and you going to make them the favorites. We was driving defensive tackles into your linebackers' laps, and you going to make them the favorites. We was mossing your cornerbacks, and you going to make them the favorites. Like, I'm heated if I am an Eagles player. But at the end of the day, good luck. I mean, you still got to block Chase. You still got to block Bosa. You still got to tackle Debo. So, take all that animosity all you want, but that animosity ain't going to make Debo no slower.
Hey, last one for me, Emmanuel, and we'll let you go because I know you're got a lot of stuff to do. Christian McCaffrey, you're just talking about you have Trent Williams 4. We talk a lot out here about who's more important, Purdy or McCaffrey. So where does McCaffrey fit into your evaluation?
Bro, McCaffrey's amazing. Watch his rewatch from the All-22, his second touchdown run versus the Seahawks. I think it was the second one. It was like the 8-yard touchdown run where the Seahawks played that play perfectly. They have McCaffrey dead to rights. He cuts back. He wants to reverse the whole field, but he sees Jamal Adams. So he suddenly pauses. He gets incredibly skinny, gets away from the linebacker. Then he runs away from Quandre Diggs to get into the end zone. McCaffrey, I can't say that he's more important than Brock Purdy because, once again, we saw Brock Purdy get knocked out versus the Eagles, and McCaffrey was there. And McCaffrey kept the Niners in it for like a half. That touchdown run where I think he hurdled a dude and ran over a dude. But Brock Purdy is valuable. McCaffrey's better. So it depends on what you want out of life. You feel me? Like, some people look at the most valuable award like the Heisman. But the Heisman is quite literally like who was the best player in college football. That's what the Heisman's predicated on. So if you're thinking about value, Purdy's more valuable, but McCaffrey is way better. I mean, McCaffrey's the best running back in football.
Acho, we'll get you out of here on this one. Do you think Kyle Shanahan is a better coach because of Brock Purdy?
No. Shanahan made Shanahan. Shanahan took my guy Matt Schaub and made Matt Schaub a Pro Bowler. Then he made Robert Griffin a Rookie of the Year. Then he made Matt Ryan an NFL MVP. Then he made Jimmy Garoppolo a Super Bowl attending quarterback. Shanahan is Shanahan because of Shanahan. I believe the Niners are better because of Brock Purdy, but Shanahan is a made man, and he makes people. He doesn't get made.
Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it, and have fun watching the rest of the season.
You know it, family. We'll talk.
All right. Emmanuel Acho. You can hear him on FS1, on Speak, New York Times, best-selling author. And he also played with the Philadelphia Eagles.